Hey there, Statesmen Nation. Today we have another season preview for the 2022-2023 men's volleyball, and today I'm here with Luke Bentley, head coach. How you doing today?
Good.
That's good, very good. Let's get right into it. Last year, big breakout season, beat a lot of tough teams towards the end of the season as well made it to the national tournament. Just recap last season for me.
Sure. Just like you said, breakout year, third year of the program, so a lot of first-ranked wins. Made the national tournament obviously at first. Went to the went to the conference finals.
Yeah.
And so that was a first. So yeah, I mean it was good. 23 wins. I don't know. There's not much more to say besides a great year, right? I mean, we're not really. We weren't expecting it. Can't really complain about doing all the things that we did. It was great, and we're excited for this year.
Okay, let's get into it now. You know, we got a lot of returners coming back, some All-Americans as well. But let's talk about the recruiting class you brought in, just to add on top of that and to build off of last year.
Yeah, I think every coach probably has the same goal in mind: is you want to bring in better players every year. Knowing that you just mentioned All-Americans, like we're not going to replace a Landon Krause, right? Like we're not going to replace Ike Papes, but we wanted to bring in strong players, and we feel like this freshman class we brought in this year is one of our best recruiting classes we've had. We have probably 3 or 4 guys we think will see the floor this year. With everything you just said, being so many returners, the fact that 4 freshmen might play this year says a lot about how good they are. So we feel really good about that. We brought in a guy at semester that also will contribute. So yeah, it was a good class. We're really excited to see where they end up, and more importantly, we finally have depth. Like for all these years, we've had these young guys have had to play such a big role every year, and now they get to be the old guys and have young guys below them. So that's the most exciting part.
Okay, well, let's get into some positions here. Let's talk about your libero first. Let's go into depth of how those positions fill out right there as a libero.
Yeah. Carlos Garcia will be our starting libero. So he's been the starter the last 3 years. He's been here all 4 years with us. He's really solid. He's done a great job, improved a lot in the offseason, gotten a lot stronger. We think he has a really good shot at making kind of a bigger impact across the board in terms of the conference and all that stuff, because there's a pretty strong libero conference. But below him, our second guy is Luke Luckfield. He's a sophomore from Hawaii. He transitioned from being an outside last year. We moved him to libero, and he's done a great job of getting into that role. And then we got a few more guys below him. But yeah, it's a good group, and we feel like Carlos is going to be our leader in that position, and I think he'll do a good job again.
All right, let's talk about your setters. How you feel in that position as well?
Settings is probably the biggest question mark. Last year, our starter, Connor Muff, graduated, so that was the one guy that we lost. And so right now we're looking at whoever it's going to be is going to be a new starter. So Matt Helmick's the senior that's kind of leading the charge as of right now. We have a couple other guys below him. We brought in, I mentioned a guy at semester. His name is Cesar Pedroso. He's from Brazil, so he'll be probably our number 2 guy. And then below him is Francisco Cruz and Louis Batang, both junior and sophomore respectively. So yeah, it's a good group. We're excited to see a new face out there, and Statesman Nation will see someone different for the first time in 3 years. So it'll be kind of good for us. And but yeah, we're excited to see what it looks like.
All right, now let's talk about you guys have very good outside hitters, as we stated earlier in the show. So how do you feel about your outside hitters right now?
Yeah, we're like you said, we're in a great spot. We've just like everyone, we return everyone for the most part. So Ike Papes is our leading guy. He's been the guy for the last 3 years. He's an All-American last year for us, a first-team All-Conference guy, and Ike's in great shape, and he's ready to go for another year. And below him, CJ Reddick's also been a 3-year guy for us. And then below him, or maybe even with him, is a new guy, a new face that everyone will see, is Devin Zavala. He's a junior. He transferred in from Concordia Irvine. And we think he'll contribute a lot this year too. So it's a pretty loaded group. We feel pretty good. It's an older group, and I think with everything they bring to the table, they should be pretty dynamic. So it'll be fun to watch.
Nice. Now let's talk about a position I feel like you're loaded at, your middles.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about those?
Great. We said it last year. We think we have probably the best 2 middles in the conference, and I think this year we might actually be the case. I'm not saying it wasn't the case last year, but this year might be an easier argument for us. Yeah, Charlie Figge is the guy. He's All-American as a sophomore last year. Just incredible worker, incredible team leader. You know, we love Charlie in the middle, and he's worked his butt off, and he's got 2 more years, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really awesome last year. You know, we started off the year, I think we were receiving votes, so went into most games being the underdogs, and it was really fun, just shocking our conference and the whole country just on what we can do and what we can accomplish. And I think it's a step in the right direction, and there's a lot to improve on for this year. As this year, obviously, we're ranked number 5, so last year was just a really good step in the right direction, and I'm excited to see what we can do this year. It's going to be definitely a lot harder this year to win those games against those ranked opponents because they know what we're capable of. Last year they didn't think we were capable of that. So this year, them knowing that, it's going to be a lot harder, but we're going to have to really work together as a team and just fight through it because it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of 5-set matches, and just overall, we just have to have that mental toughness. And I think going into practice with that, just knowing that and pre-match, just talking together as a team is going to be really important.
And then Eli Hero is the senior next to him. Eli's also been a 4-year guy for us, and at 6'8", obviously a big presence, and he does a great job in the middle as well. So we feel great. And then the third one's a freshman. I think people are going to end up getting to know pretty soon in the next couple of years is Britton Bialis, who comes out of the Chicago area. He's got a big arm. He's a big kid too, and I think he'll end up being pretty good in a couple of years. So those are probably the ones you're going to see the most. But yeah, those top 2, Charlie and Eli, are, like I said, probably the best 2 middles you're going to see, at least in this area.
It's definitely going to be really hard to be the best middle blocking duo in the country, but I think Eli and I are definitely capable of it. We've talked a lot about being the best and what it can take to be the best, so I think this year we're really going to try and prove ourselves and show the whole country what the William Penn middles are all about.
So after talking about your middles, how do you feel about your right side and especially Landon Krause?
Yeah, Landon was obviously a huge impact for us last year. National Player of the Year, National Newcomer of the Year. I mean, the list goes on for what he achieved last year, and we feel like he can top that this year. Like, why not? His goal is to win Conference Player of the Year. He wants to be an All-American again. So, all the individual stuff's great, and he knows that it's about the team stuff, but ultimately you can't take away from how good of a player he is.
Yeah.
And, we try to not talk about that kind of stuff as a program, but I think it'd be silly for me to try to dodge that when it comes to Landon. Everyone knows how good he is. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. And Landon's our leader on the right side. He's been our starter since last year, and he'll be the starter again this year. Tony Torres is the guy behind him, who's a junior, who is one of our best servers on the team. Anyone that watched us last year knows that he's got a good lefty arm for us. And Landon leads the charge there, and Landon probably will be our go-to most of the year. And we feel good, obviously, and he's ready to go for another year.
Honestly, I would say last year there probably weren't a lot of expectations for us to compete at the level that we did necessarily. Obviously, we wanted to improve from years prior, being a newer program, but we definitely exceeded expectations, caught a lot of teams and people by surprise, and now obviously this year we kind of have a little bit higher expectations, so we want to make sure we're continuing to work hard, and we still have some lofty goals for this year as well, so we just want to make sure that we're working hard every day and continuing to get better for sure. Yeah, certainly last year we were kind of on the come up, a lot of upset wins, caught a lot of people by surprise like I stated earlier, but now this year we start the season off ranked number 5. So obviously teams know where we stand, where we're at, but that's not going to change our approach to how we come to practice each day, our mentality. It's going to be somewhat similar to last year. We're going to come in each day, be competitive with each other. We have a lot of great talent on this team this year especially, so continuing to challenge each other each and every day will be a big deal for us getting better. Yeah, I think all that means to me is that I just got to work a little bit harder this year, just because people know who I am now. I came on the scene last year a little bit, but I know that I'm just going to have to work that much harder, but I do want to try and work towards that award again. Obviously, that's going to be a difficult thing to do, but I have the right guys around me, the right coaches around me to help me progress as a player. We have a great team chemistry, and so I think just the guys around me will help me out a lot, just continuing to get better, and so yeah, I haven't got much else on that.
Now let's talk about, you guys got back, what was it, around January 5th, right? And started some getting ready for preseason, all that. How did you feel the team gelled during that time?
Yeah, we had about a week and a half before anyone else was back on campus, and so the nice thing with that is we got to, be able to basically, get some stuff worked out, understand a little bit of what we're trying to accomplish, and get through, the preseason, kinks and kind of get through all that stuff. So that was nice, it's been a good 2.5, 3 weeks since we've been back, and we're getting ready to go this week.
Okay. So now season's right around the corner. You guys face Indiana Tech this Thursday, upcoming Thursday.
Yep.
How do you feel like expectations after just a big season last year? What do you feel like this team this year is going to achieve?
Man, I think the expectations are high. We're preseason ranked number 5. Obviously, we feel like we can build on last year. I think not that we set the national tournament or a national championship as our only goal, but naturally when you make the national tournament, you kind of assume you're going to go back, right? Like, it's like, why would we not want to do that again and then some? So I think we're at that point where they expect to play in Des Moines in April and do all that stuff. So, it's going to be an interesting balance of managing expectations, but at the same time being able to still take care of what we want to do on our end and focus on the process and that kind of stuff. So Indiana Tech poses a good threat on Thursday, and we're really excited to see what it looks like. But the guys have to understand too, it's early on, it's a long season, a lot can change, and ultimately, we're not going to have the same exact year as last year. Maybe it'll be better, which is great. Maybe it'll be a little worse. That's fine too. But I think people are going to think, oh, you have to be Grandview now. You beat them last year. You have to be these teams now. You beat them last year. As anyone that follows sports knows that you just can't always do that, right? Like, not everything's going to be the same. So as long as we can focus on what we want to focus on and get through the process, I think we'll be okay. But I think the guys are just excited more than anything.
Very nice. Well, I want to thank you for coming in and doing this interview with me. I hope you guys have a very good season. But men's volleyball opens up Thursday against Indiana Tech here on the packed courts. So come out, support them. It's going to be a big season, a very well-rounded team, and good luck, Coach.
Thanks.